Hi guys, welcome to the Mum's Eye View channel. My name is Ysis and today I'm here to show you how to create this makeup look that I'm wearing, which is a rose gold tone smoky eye, and I think it's perfect for spring. It's just much softer and more delicate looking than your traditional brown and gold or black and gold smoky eyes. So if you're looking for a softer alternative to a smoky eye look, then I think you will like this. All the products that I used on the tutorial will be listed in the description box below, and they're all quite affordable, which is always good. So if you want to know how I created this look, then keep watching. So I started by moisturizing my face with the L'Oreal Skin Perfection Advanced Correcting Serum, and this is a very lightweight cream which is great to put underneath makeup. Then I applied the L'Oreal Skin Perfection Magic Touch Instant Blur, which is a great primer for the areas where you get enlarged pores or wherever your makeup fades quicker. And I thought this was an amazing primer. I hadn't tried it before. That was the first time I tried it and I absolutely loved it. Moving on to foundation, I chose the L'Oreal Nutri Lift Gold Anti-Aging Serum Foundation in the shade 170 Beige Glow, and this foundation is quite a full coverage foundation, but it doesn't leave the skin looking cakey or anything. It just blends in very well with the skin, and I used a buffing brush to buff that all over my skin just so that I could get the best coverage possible. As you can see, the shade 170 Beige Glow is a really good colour match for my skin tone, as it matches my neck perfectly. So if you've got skin tone similar to mine, I recommend going for this shade. And if you suffer from hyperpigmentation like me, I recommend applying foundation on your eyelids and around the areas where you have your pigmentation. To make sure that my base looks as natural as possible, I blended all the edges with a Beauty Blender sponge just to get that flawless finish. For concealer, I chose the L'Oreal Touche Magique True Match Illuminating Concealer in the shade Rose Beige, and this is a great concealer to highlight underneath the eyes whilst also giving you plenty of coverage. I'm just over 7 months pregnant at the moment and I haven't been sleeping very well, and this concealer managed to hide all of my dark circles. I started by blending everything with my ring finger just to make sure that the product blended seamlessly with my skin. I used a concealer buffing brush to make sure that all the edges were blended, because this concealer is a couple of shades lighter than my skin tone, so I didn't want it to look too obvious. And then with my fingers I also blended it even further just to be doubly sure that everything was very well blended. I applied the same concealer on any redness and blemishes around my face, mixed with some of the foundation to make sure that the shade matches my face perfectly. For powder, I used the Rimmel Match Perfection Silky Loose Face Powder in the shade 001 Transparent, and this is just a loose powder that will set your makeup, set all the cream products that I've applied so far, the concealer, the foundation, and it's such a finely milled powder. I absolutely love how it just mattifies my skin without giving me any more coverage. For contour, I used the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Bronzer in the shade 102 Brunette Harmony, and this is a really great duo because it has a bronzer and a highlighting shade, so you can do your 2-in-1. I used the Real Techniques contour brush to first place the product where I want my face to look more defined, and then I used a bigger fluffy brush to blend all that product in so it doesn't look too harsh and it doesn't look unnatural on my skin. I also like to contour my forehead and underneath my cheekbones because it gives my face a little bit more structure. To highlight my face, I used the lighter shade from the duo and applied it to the high points of my face, such as the bridge of my nose, my forehead, my cupid's bow, my chin and my cheekbones. Then to give my face some colour, I used the L'Oreal Le Blush in the shade 145 Rosewood, which is a beautiful corally pink shade, and it's very pigmented, so be really careful. I actually ended up over applying the blush, so I went back with a beauty blender to tone down a little bit of the blush. For my eyebrows, I used the Collection Eye Definer in the shade Black, and I know it's not the most obvious choice to use a black eyeliner on your eyebrows, but I do have quite dark brows, so I applied a little bit of the product onto my eyebrows and then made sure that I was blending the product in with a brush so that the look was soft and not a very harsh black line. As you can see, this just fills in all the gaps that I have in my eyebrows, making them look a bit fuller and just more defined. And it takes a bit of time to get all the blending done, but the finished result is really nice and soft. Now it's time for the eye makeup, and for my base I chose the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in the shade Pink Gold, which is the most beautiful pink tone shade for a rose gold smoky eye. And this is a cream eyeshadow, so it will help all the other eyeshadows stick to the eyelids. And as you can see, it just leaves such a beautiful sheen on the eyes. I absolutely love the Maybelline Colour Tattoos. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal La Palette Nude. And this one is called Rosé because it has lots of shades of rose and pink and purple, and it's perfect for a rose gold smoky eye tutorial like this one. The first shade I'm using is this matte brownish purple shade, and I'm using that to even out my eyelids and putting that all over the eyelids with a flat eyeshadow brush. And then with a fluffy blending brush, I'm blending out the edges from the outer to the inner corner of the eyes to make sure that everything is soft and blended together. I'm using this shimmery rose gold shade from the palette with my fingers to apply to the inner half of the eye, and I think that's how I get the best pigmentation out of this shade. This is my favorite shade of the palette because it just highlights the eyes so beautifully. Then I'm using the darkest shade from the palette, which is this plummy purpley colour, on the outer corner of my eyes with a smaller blending brush and making sure to keep that blending to the outer edge. I'm doing a diagonal line, as you can see, to create that illusion of a V shape on the outer corner of the eyes, and then just carry on blending and keeping the product to the outer corners. Going back with my bigger blending brush, I'm just blending everything together. There's a lot of blending going on this look, but that's very important to make sure that everything looks really soft and delicate. I went back in with that rose gold shade just to make sure that it wasn't fading or disappearing because we want it to stay quite intense. I used the palest shade from the palette, which is a champagne-y kind of white shade, to highlight my brow bone and the inner corner of my eyes. Then I mixed these two shades that you can see there on a pencil brush and used it to line my bottom lash line, keeping it mostly to the outer corner of the eye but taking it slightly in further into the inner corner. To line my top lash line, I chose the L'Oreal Superliner Perfect Slim Eyeliner, which is a very fine felt tip liner. And I want the line to stay quite thin and quite smooth. So I'm using an angled brush on that deep purple shade to soften that line and kind of diffuse the harshness of a felt tip liner. I'm using my favourite pencil eyeliner, which is the Rimmel ScandalEyes Waterproof Kohl Kajal, to line my top and bottom waterlines, and I find this is the easiest way to line my waterline. I have very sensitive eyes and this way I don't get watery eyes. After curling my lashes, I used the MaxFactor False Lash Effect Fusion Mascara. This mascara just gives amazing volume and amazing length to the lashes. I only used 2 coats on my top lashes and 1 coat on my bottom lash, and that was more than enough. To clean up any fallout, I used the same concealer I had used earlier, and I applied that on my under eye area and blended it with my concealer buffer brush. And for the final part of the look, I'm using the L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in 632, which is the most beautiful rose pink shade. This is just my kind of shade. It highlights, it doesn't add too much colour, and it's really flattering with any kind of makeup look. So that's the finished look. I think it's great for spring, and this is definitely the look that I'm going to be wearing throughout this spring. I love the mixture of the purpley tones and the rose tones and the gold shades, and I hope you guys liked it as well. So I hope you liked the video and the look that I created, and if you did enjoy watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the Mum's Eye View channel. Thank you for watching. Bye!